Buddy JC here with another T&I toy review. And for today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new DC Comics Multiverse 6-inch Suicide Squad movie Diablo figure from Mattel. Now this figure is packaged in the same style packaging we see with all the Multiverse figures. You've got the red box with the black highlights. You've got the Suicide Squad movie logo up at the top. The figure's clearly displayed. Down below you have an image of the character from the movie and the name. Off to the side you again have an image of the character. And then on the back of the packaging we have an image of the figure and then a look at some of the other figures being released in the Suicide Squad wave. Now this figure, along with the Rick Flag figure which we looked at the other day, are both Walmart exclusives and they don't have any kind of collect and connect pieces. Okay, so let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside the packaging. Now the only accessories that this figure comes with are an extra pair of hands. So the hands that are actually attached to the figure when you first take it out of the packaging are these flame shooting hands to mimic his powers. And I think I like the idea behind these, and I like the semi-translucent plastic for the flames, the orange plastic for the flames. I don't really like the paint, how they've painted some flames on the hands. It doesn't really look like flames. Looks more like it's supposed to be blood or something, but I think it's supposed to be flames because it's the same kind of orange as the actual flames themselves, but I don't think it looks very good. Also, I think these hands maybe are a little big. I don't know, they come off looking a little big to me. And then you get this pair of regular hands on the figure, which are the extra pair that come with it. And to switch out the hands, you just pop it out. You got little pegs on the hands, and then you pop in the hand that you want to replace it with, and they pop in pretty good. And then here's a look at the figure with the both flame hands on. And like I said, the hands to me come off looking a little big, and I just don't like the paint of the flames on the hands. Otherwise, again, I like the idea behind these. So for the figure itself, we got pretty basic paint applications. However, I do like the tattoo work that we've got on the figure. I will say though, with the head, the only problem I have with the head sculpt is that from the images I've seen of the character from the movie, he's not completely clean shaven bald. They should have given him some buzz cut type hair a little bit here on the skull. So that's the only thing I would say is a little bit off, but I do like the tattoo work. That seems to be pretty good, pretty accurate to what we see in the movie. He also has some tattoos that come down on his neck under his coat. So the coat itself is a separate piece. It's that kind of rubber vinyl material. The sleeves of the coat are sculpted on, so you could take off this actual coat piece, but it would look funny because he would have the blue sleeves still on there. He does underneath, looks like he's got that kind of wife beater t-shirt on, and then the pants are just a gray color, and he's got this chain that hangs off with a little cross, and this is a separate piece. It's again done with that kind of rubber material, and he's got his belt that kind of hangs down here. And on his coat itself, it says Diablo up here on his chest, and then on the back you've got painted on here the Hillsiders, and you've got this little skull with some flames and stuff. So again, pretty nice detail. One thing I did notice with the paint, and at first I thought this was part of the tattoos, but I don't think so. You see a few little black marks here and there on his forehead, and I think that might be just a little bit of paint sloppiness. It's not that noticeable unless you look really close at it, and like I said, it almost looks like it's part of the tattoos, but I just wanted to point that out. The figure stands about 6 1/4 inches tall. And here's a comparison with the other Suicide Squad figures from Mattel that have been released up to this point. Articulation is pretty much on par with what we've seen with the other figures in the line. You can turn the head to the left and to the right, and he's got down movement, a little bit of down movement with the head. Can't really look back at all though. Arms attached with your standard ball hinge joint at the shoulders, so he can get his arm out good. He's got good rotation. He has the bicep swivel, only has the single hinged elbow, so he can bend his elbow about that much. Has swivels at the wrist, but no hinges. Has an ab crunch type joint, but can't really crunch down very much. That's about as much down as he can crunch, and he can look back a little bit, but not a whole lot. Does have a waist swivel, has those side hinge joints for the leg, so he can do the splits about that much, and he can get his leg forward pretty good, and he can do his leg back about that much. Has a thigh swivel, has a single hinged knee, so he can bend his knee about that much, and then he's got hinges on the feet, but because of the way the pants are sculpted, he really only has a little bit of up or down movement with the feet, and no rotation and no ankle pivot, and 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet. Okay, so that's my review. Overall, I would say this isn't too bad of a figure. If you like the other figures in the line, I think you'll like this one as well and want to add it to your collection. I like the fire shooting effects, however, I don't like the painted solid flames on the hands themselves. And then the articulation, like with all the figures in this line, are only so. You know, definitely it would be nice if we saw ankle pivots or double jointed knees and elbows, things like that. As it is though, like I said, if you've been collecting this line and you like the figures overall, I think you'll like this one as well. This one is a Walmart exclusive along with the Rick Flag figure, and it is hitting shelves now. We'll have a full gallery of images up at toynewseye.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment, let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. Also, if you haven't already, please follow me on my Facebook and or Twitter pages. I'll have links to those in the video description as well. And until next time, I'll catch you later.